So maybe you're out there right now and you just bought a Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 FE, but you're looking for a case, right? You're looking for something to go along with it. Well, I've got a ton of cases from different brands and I tried them out for you so you don't have to. So a big thank you to a lot of these case manufacturers. A lot of these were sent to me for free, but I'm not going to let that influence my review, right? I want to let you know what case might be good for you. You could find the links to all of these in the description, and I'm going to let you know, hey, is this worth buying? Is that worth buying? What type of levels of protection can you expect? What's the texture on the case? I'm going to walk through all of that with you with some hands-on footage of these cases. So with all that being said, let's get straight into this case review and let's get these cases reviewed. Alright, so I want to start out with two heavy-hitting cases right here for the Tab S7 FE. But before I do want to let you know, if you are looking for a case for the Tab S7 FE, don't forget that the regular Tab S7 Plus, that tablet has the same size and dimensions, so you can use cases from the Tab S7 Plus, and you can use them on the Tab S7 FE. Even the keyboard case from Samsung will work for this Tab S7 FE. So I have links for all of those in the description as well. Just don't forget that if you see a case that you like, but maybe it's for that Tab S7 Plus, don't worry, it will work for this tablet. So I want to start off with this Infiland case. Whenever you put this case on, you're going to notice that there are bumpers on this. So it's sort of nice to have a base case, I guess you could say, a nice little case to go around it. And then you still have the extra book cover part. So that means that if the book cover flies open for whatever reason and this tablet falls on its face, at least you're going to have a medium level of protection around the device. Now you do have enough room for your USB-C port right there, so that is very, very nice there. You do have holes for your speakers, so that's going to be just fine. And if you look at the case itself, you're going to see these two little flaps here, okay? Now these flaps, those are really stoppers for this case. So if you actually use this case on your lap, you're going to be able to use this in landscape mode. It's going to be nice. Now, if you want to close it, you just flip this shut. This is not going to be taken off easily, and that is very good news for you. The other thing you're going to notice is that your S Pen, it magnetizes to the back here. And if you magnetize your S Pen, you can magnetize it, and then you could put this over it. Now, will your S Pen fall off? Well, you could see here if I push on it a little bit, it can move up and down, but I don't think this S Pen is going to go anywhere. So honestly, I think this will do a very good job of protecting your S Pen. I don't think you're going to have a lot of issues with that. And if you do open it up, you even have a base level of protection. Now, this is going to be a little bit heavier, okay? So keep that in mind. But it is very difficult to drop because there is a nice texture right here on this case. So honestly, this is one of my favorite cases. This is a very, very good option, especially with those two very nice viewing angles. Now, if you are looking for a cheap Bluetooth keyboard, the good news is you can get this Infiland keyboard with it, of course, and that's something that might interest you. Now, this keyboard, it does have smaller keys. They're a little more cramped. As you could see here, they're not super big or anything like that, but this will still get the job done. I do think there's good travel on it. It is just made of plastic, so keep that in mind. It's not some crazy $100 keyboard, right? But it does work pretty well, and you do see it does charge right over here, so it does have a charging port, which is a bonus. And one of the coolest things about this keyboard case is it actually charges with USB-C. So a lot of keyboards, they charge with micro USB, and that is the absolute worst thing I've ever seen. So this is a nice keyboard. I would say it's pretty darn good. It's got decent travel. Just keep in mind that it is a little more crammed than you would see in like the regular book cover keyboard, right? The Tab S7 book cover keyboard, that is a little bit more spacious than this keyboard. But if you're okay with it being a little bit smaller, you will enjoy this keyboard overall. I think it's pretty darn good. Now moving on to Poetic. Poetic made a very similar case. The same type of thing here, right? Where you have a base case, a normal case that goes around the tablet. Now when you put this case on the tablet, you are going to notice this part right here. And then it even shows you a little tip here, right? So it shows you even where to put your S Pen and where to put the tip of the S Pen. And not only is it going to magnetize, but you're also going to have those little rubber clip things to keep the S Pen in place. So it does give your S Pen a little more protection than the last case that I mentioned. You also have three little stoppers here. So you have three little stoppers, so that's going to be 3 viewing angles, which is a nice thing from Poetic. So at least you do have more viewing angles on this case compared to that other case. You do have that as a bonus, and you also have the S pin that has those little rubber parts that can keep it in place. But on the other end, you're going to have a little bit of a weaker magnet. At least I do on my model. Maybe yours would be different. Maybe mine is just defective. But that's one thing to keep in mind. So I can still easily recommend this. This is a pretty good case. I would say it's completely equivalent to that Infiland one because it's got some pros and some cons. So it really depends on how many viewing angles you want, and it depends on if you need that S pin kept more secure, and if you want this kept a little more secure, right? Because the Infiland magnet is a little bit stronger. So pros and cons to both cases. All right, now moving on to another Infiland case, and this is basically a full book cover case, okay? So this is a case that you just keep shut, and then it's a nice little book cover. Now, if you snap this case on, again, you're going to notice that there aren't significant bumpers on the edges, so it's not going to be quite as protective. And you have all of these different viewing angles. So this is very unique because the textured material down here is really meant to stop this, right, in its tracks. So technically, you might have 3 or 4 different viewing angles with this case. You're going to have a little bit more viewing angles because you don't just have 2 ridges or 3 ridges. You just have to rely on the material itself. Now, the one thing you are going to notice here is that there's no spot on the back of this, if you look at it, for the S pin, right? So the S pin is actually meant to be kept on the top of the tablet, and then you could close over the top of it. And that does a great job of protecting it overall. You have a nice book, and you have plenty of room on the bottom of the tablet for your speakers and your ports and things like that. So if you want a nice professional looking thing, I think this looks very, very nice. It is a very good option for you. Maybe you want to use it in portrait mode and you want to use it like this. Well, you could just flip this little part right here on the inside, and then you'll be able to use it in portrait mode like that. So I think that works perfectly fine, and it's a pretty darn good case. So I think it looks really nice. It's plenty protective, especially considering you'll have it shut, and it does work well with your S Pen. Now, I do have a case that was sent to me by a company called Ztotop or something like that, right? I can't fully pronounce it, but that's just fine. And this is basically a cover that's very similar to the Samsung one, right? So that Samsung book cover case that costs quite a bit, maybe you want something that's similar but cheaper, and this would be a good option for you in that case. So this is a very thin case, okay? It actually magnetizes to the tablet itself. So you see there's nothing right here on the case itself to really keep this case on your tablet. It just relies solely on magnets. And that's exactly what the Samsung case does. It works perfectly fine. This case isn't going anywhere. Now, the bottom part will come off, and it's meant to, so that it can magnetize. You have magnetized strips on the bottom here, so this can magnetize right here. And that's, again, another nice thing because it locks it into place. So you don't have to worry about it coming out because it relies on the magnets on the bottom of the tablet. So that's nice. Not only do you have the magnets magnetizing it, but you do, again, have these, which also stop it. It could be a nice little rubber stopper for it. So overall, this is very thin. Again, if you look at this right here, the only negative is when you put your S Pen right here, your S Pen could easily fall off of this case. So that's the one negative. But if you put it on the inside, you'll see right here, there is a spot for the S Pen right there. So you can put the S Pen there on the inside. So I think it'll do a good job of protecting that S Pen. I think this case overall is pretty good. The only thing that I would worry about, you could see here mine over time, it can bang up just a little bit if you look right here on the edge. So it could wear down a little bit over time. But overall, this is a very good case for those of you who want something similar to the Samsung book cover, but you don't want to pay all that money. This is a very good option because it's one of the thinnest cases and it's got some of the strongest magnets for those viewing angles, and it does magnetize shut as well, which is a nice bonus. You're not going to have to worry about it flying open like some other cases. Now, another really great case for this, and this will be the last case I'll talk about, is the Poetic Revolution. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about this case, so I just wanted to give you a quick showing of it. If you're looking for the heaviest duty case with a nice kickstand on the back, this is great. It does also have this right here, which had a built-in screen protector, but I poked it out because I'd rather use a tempered glass screen protector, right? So all you have to do is you have to put this front part on your device, and then you just put it inside this case, and it's very, very protective. It's got great bumpers, and this is one of the most protective cases I've used. In fact, my wife has been using this case the past month or so on this tablet, and she's had no issues whatsoever with it. And this Poetic Revolution case, it also keeps your S Pen very secure. So this is a great heavy-duty case. It's a great option if you're looking for something very, very sturdy and rugged, and it's highly recommended, again, if you're looking for something like that. So if you like a case that I've shown in this video, just keep in mind that there may be more color options available. Again, check the links in the description. Now, a quick shout out to Moko. They did send me a screen protector. I do have it on here right now, a glass screen protector, and it did work very well. I did not have a lot of issues with their screen protector. So just a heads up there, their screen protector will work. Just keep in mind, you want to be pretty experienced with that. Screen protectors are pretty easy to mess up if you're not careful. So hopefully this video helped you as you're looking for a case. Please give this video a like and a sub if you like it. Also, I did a video on Tab S7 Plus cases, and if you're interested in that, hey, those cases will work for this device too. So feel free to check that out and check out some other videos. I hope you all have a great day, and thank you so much for all of your support.